my name's Aaron. I play in the Bad Bad Randies.
I'm Denzel. I play in the Bad Bad Randies.
So, first things first. So your frontman is known for getting down in the crowd, sharing his mic and his sweat with the mosh. You know, it's all part of the Bad Bad Randies experience. And with that in mind, as we're kind of moving into this space where restrictions are starting to ease, how do you reckon you're going to keep connecting with the audience in that way, in a way that's kind of COVID safe, you know, now that we have these concerns about hygiene and everything in the mosh pit?
Most Bad Randies gigs are kind of pretty COVID safe anyway, because we don't pack it out that much.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of social distancing.
It's always been pretty safe. But I think moving forward, we'll probably end up
Chilling out.
I think our sound will probably change a bit, but also like I'll probably a few of our more recent shows, I brought a synth onto stage.
Ooh.
And
It's
I've
hard
been
to play that and roll around on the floor.
Yeah, it's hard to, and yeah, I've been playing a bit more guitar in our songs, trying to bring that back in. So it's just I'll be basically on stage more.
Yeah, I think as well. I tend to move around a lot too, and I kind of find that's a good way to get nerves out.
It is
like you just kind of be a complete freak for a quick little adrenaline rush to get things going. We're feeling a little tired of the punk sound that we were going for initially. I kind of do want to just chill out. Not saying that those punk songs will disappear. So I don't know, maybe if we drop them in a set, you could see Denz doing cartwheels in the crowd.
Beautiful. So you guys describe yourselves as punk music written by Tommy Wiseau, which is a comparison I really love, since you're both long-haired artists, essentially just kind of DIYing it as you go along. And as more young people we've seen have gotten into creating music over COVID to kind of cope with quarantine, what advice do you guys have for, you know, other young artists starting out with no resources?
Just write, basically. I've only recently kind of felt a bit more confident with songwriting. It's kind of like a hill you got to jump over. And I suppose recording-wise, just use what you've got available.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it, basically.
Just that's kind of what the Tommy Wiseau quote kind of came from, I feel.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the Room is known as being a really, how do I put this without putting the Randies down? Pretty poorly written and produced.
But also
it's known, but it's still a lot of fun.
Huge cult following.
It's a lot of fun. Cult following.
Yeah.
I think that Bad Randies are very similar to that. We kind of just went out and made a whole heap of songs that work, and then we just went out and played them on stage and pretended.
And we weren't really
pretended we know what we're doing. People kind of think we know what we're doing.
And you know, we do. To young artists, I suppose, literally just have fun. Times are weird right now. There's so much you can draw from and channel into making music right now because the world kind of. And you know, they've always said like times of change like really brings about great protest music and stuff like that. So there's a lot to draw inspiration from.
Oh, awesome. So, as we can see from the awesome poster behind you, before lockdown, you guys were sort of becoming the darlings of the Grace Darling, along with a lot of really good, darlings of the Grace Darling, along with other like really good punk venues in Melbourne. And you know, as we're starting to see restrictions ease up a little, what venues are you most keen to play out again?
Oh, absolutely, Grace Darling.
Yeah, we love the Grace. I'd love to keep playing there.
Yeah, I love the basement. That tends to pack out quite easily. We've had a few of our best gigs, I think, there. Like our first headline was in the Graceman.
We're calling that the Randies launch.
Yeah.
That was kind of.
Yeah, definitely the Grace. They're really good there as well, sound-wise.
Upstairs, there was a sound, I think her name was Alex.
She was great. Yeah. We never really got to play the Tote.
Yeah, I'd love to play the Tote.
Yeah.
Love to play the Social Club down the road.
Yeah, or even 303 next to it.
303.
Yeah.
The Northcote Social Club, if you can forward that on tour. We're there like every Monday night for Monday night. Or when it was being anyway.
Yeah, but definitely missing live shows, especially the Social Club when they did Monday Night Mass, which was like free entry, cheap beer, get a Palmer as well, and like a good lineup of Melbourne bands.
Beautiful.
We did not get to catch Pinch Points one because COVID, but hopefully they come back. Yeah, I don't know. Tote, Grace,
Croxton.
Forum,
Rod Laver.
Rod Laver.
Yeah.
Rod Laver.
Yeah. And then
Marvel, yeah.
Marvel Stadium.
Yeah.
So keen to play Marvel, man.
So going back to the DIY question from before, obviously real fans know you guys are named after your lead singer's dog, Randy. And because naming your act is, usually considered kind of the hardest part of starting out, what advice would you have for young musos that are literally struggling to make a name for themselves? Like, how do you go about naming your new act?
I think finding a band name you like is one of the easiest parts of starting a band.
Oh.
I've got a list of band names, like 30, 40 band names long in my phone.
You kind of just like got to be in, for me, like I'll just have conversations with mates and then someone will say something and then you just be like, good band name.
Pretty much.
That happens really frequently. You just got to write them down and then choose them for the day.
Now, sort of a signature part of your act is the fact that a lot of your pedals are mounted to the deck of an old skateboard. And as more artists in isolation are starting to experiment with sort of, the traditions of their act, what other objects would you consider mounting your pedals to?
Eden's pedal board is on a chopping board.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Little white chopping board.
That he carries around in an actual briefcase.
Yeah.
He got it in an op shop.
Oh my God.
I had a carry case for a while, but a mate of mine recently built me like a proper wooden pedal board thing that I can like manage my cables and shit. That was pretty cool.
Sick.
I'd recommend those, but like if you're gonna buy one, they're way too overpriced. It's like $200 for a thing of metal.
I think it's interesting that so many people noticed the skateboard.
Yeah,
because
it's kind of impromptu, wasn't it?
I just got the idea from my mate who actually lent me a lot of the pedals I was using. Anyway, I thought it was pretty common to have it on a skateboard. It turns out that everyone's like, "Oh, that's the sickest shit I've ever seen."
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
it's not my idea, so I can't take the credit for it.
All right. Now, your Facebook bio says that your sound would cost too many brain cells to label. So in this spirit of sort of, pushing the envelope and, doing things that, you can't really put a label on, what kind of experiments have you guys been conducting over quarantine, musical or otherwise?
Aaron's been buying heaps of pedals.
Yeah, I've bought heaps of pedals.
And guitars. We've just been
buying gear, really. I bought a guitar when it all kicked off, and just a couple pedals that I'd been keen on getting for a while, and I thought there's like any better time than now. There's not much else to do. The creative juices are flowing. I don't know. I'm
starting a folk band.
Yeah. Yeah. We've been jamming folk songs. We've even like sort of taken some Randy songs that got shelved and just kind of thrown some Western spins on them.
Oh yeah.
Blues, folky kind of. They sound cool.
Yeah, they work.
Like you mentioned before, you were kind of moving away from the punk sound a bit. Has that kind of been feeding into it?
Definitely. I feel like there's already a lot of Melbourne punk bands as it is. So the market's already really crowded.
Also think that moving away from punk could just be a symptom of not being stuck in a house where you don't really have a place to have a full drum kit.
Definitely,
and be really loud. So we're just kind of on our acoustic instruments, being quieter.
Yeah, making music of the bit what we've got really.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Brody jumps on the tambourine every now and then.
Good dogs like Randy always travel in packs. What artists are you guys keen to play with coming out of COVID?
Bang, absolutely Bang.
We've played Bang's last shows.
Yeah.
Every show they play, they pretty much is their last show. And we've played with them 3 or 4 times since their last show.
Summits. I'd love to play with the Summits boys again. Dan Itchy, shout out Dan Itchy.
Can't say too many because if we leave someone out,
Yeah,
One-
Tame Impala.
Yeah. The Beatles.
Yeah, I think Kanye West. Yeah, GMA Awards. Keen to play with bands again. I'm just keen to get in a live music environment, even if it's not at a venue, because that seems still far away off. But if at least parties can pop up,
Definitely.
people are open to having bands, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are all the questions that I had. Thank you guys so much for answering them.
Thank you.
No, thank you. This has been fun.
Yeah, no worries.